Hello everyone, welcome back to Automation in BeamNG Drive. My name is Tim, and today, we're making a Mario Kart today. That's right, we're basing it off of the Sports Coupe, you know, this little yellow thing right here. Visually, it's my favorite looking car in the entire game. I was originally planning on doing the Badwagon, but it looked too similar to my Doro Micarta I made a while back, and also, the thing I want to tell you about this project is, when I was designing it, I thought about doing something pretty interesting. Instead of putting some really powerful engine inside of it that's like big and like a normal race car engine, I thought, let's put like an actual super tiny go-kart engine in this thing. Like, really tiny. And speaking of that, here's the wheel! Right here, it's spinning, and these are the available engine sizes we have, and we're doing a 150cc engine, which limits us to 6 or less cylinders, because in the game, the smallest possible engine you can have is a 76cc inline 3, which is pitifully tiny. Now, my goal for this vehicle is, since the engine is so tiny, I'm actually going to put a centrifugal supercharger on it in order to make it powerful. We're putting carbon ceramic brakes in this. We're putting the lightest and best of everything in here. Minimum interior, we're going to put a race interior, no entertainment. The car itself is the entertainment. Basic steering system, good traction aids. We're going to put no safety, because seriously, why do you need to be safe when you're having fun? And yeah, we're going to make this thing as basic as humanly possible. And this thing weighs about 500 pounds. That is all. But I think we can do better. And also, yes, you saw that right. This thing has a CVT in it. Do you know why? Well, it turns out the engine itself is actually so underpowered that if it had anything else, it would actually be slower. So yeah, a CVT actually makes this thing faster. And right now, we're just doing the actual customization of the car. And on the side, there's an image of the car I'm basing it off of, if you want any idea of what I'm doing. So yeah, we're going to put turn signals above the headlights, and the grille is going to be an interesting shape. And this is the first vehicle I've made in quite a while that doesn't have suicide doors. Yeah, we're going to give it a rear end like that. I don't know. The rear end was actually quite challenging for this thing because I didn't really like the in-game version, and I kind of wanted to make my own version, so yeah, in all honesty, that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make my own version of a rear end. It's going to be customized to my liking. We're going to give it a big old carbon fiber wing for this thing. And yeah, I don't think this thing is going to be able to go very fast. Yeah, I don't think this thing will go very fast, not because of its, not because of the design or the wing on the back. It'll probably make this thing significantly better to drive, but it probably won't go that fast because it only has 28 horsepower, and even though it weighs like 400 something pounds, that is still not a lot of power. And as you can see right here, we're now in a barn, and we got the vehicle fixed up right here, and now we're going to work on the interior. Right behind the driver's seat are the engine vents, which are like, on the hood or trunk or whatever you want to call it. Those right there are for feeding air into the engine. We're going to put a little spoiler right in front of where a windshield would be. We're going to paint it blue to make it look more like the real car. And with this, we're going to give it an interior. We're making it out of brown leather because no one would ever drive such a vehicle in wintertime. We're going to put some dash vents right there for like air conditioning because I don't know why. Actually, no, they're defrosters for our fake windshield. In the vehicle that doesn't even have a windshield. We're going to put a radio because why not? You want to listen to music sometimes. I don't know, you get commands from the like race instructor or something. Yeah, you need to listen carefully. And with this, the vehicle is finally complete. It's actually quite nice looking in my opinion. It's not fully accurate, and anyway, let's go to BeamNG Drive! Now, as you can see, we're doing the long version of the Hirochi Raceway, and yeah, this thing is quite loud if I say so myself, but it is pretty fast because this thing, yes, is super lightweight. In fact, this version is actually even lighter than the original version that I was showing you in that picture. You see, back when we were in automation, it wasn't very heavy. It was only about 450 pounds or so. This version is 197 kilograms, which I think is like 434 pounds or something like that. which is insanely light, and this thing is actually a lot faster than I thought it would be. Like, this thing is actually kind of horrifying with just how fast it is, and I plan on taking this thing around the Nürburgring because I think that would be fun and awesome, and my goal is to beat this thing, is to beat the Racer Mobile. We need to beat that thing, because if we can't, then this thing is actually genuinely pathetic. But it's so cute. I can't not love it. It takes corners phenomenally well. It's super fast, and it's just an incredible vehicle. And just playing this game right now, as I'm making the video, it makes me want to play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe instead of doing this. That's the thing I like about this car. It reminds me of the game, and it makes me happy seeing it, because this car is happy, it's joyous, it's angry at the same time, and it is loud. It just drones on because that CVT, yeah, that CVT basically keeps it at maximum power at all times. So basically, we did almost the entire race lap, almost the entirety of that at full throttle. And yeah, we've had some hiccups, but hey, we're gonna do really good. We're doing really good. Let's see. 73 miles per hour, not bad. And we did a full lap in 1 minute and 58 seconds, which is actually quite good. Now we're in the jungle right now, and we're gonna be driving this thing through a bunch of tunnels, down country roads. We're basically gonna be driving all throughout the place, and I wanna hear the tunnel. It kind of sounds like a retro video game when it's decelerating. Also, for anyone wondering, this thing has 100 throttle response. That basically means the engine reaches redline pretty much instantly upon throttle, and this thing is extra horrifying in first person. Like, I felt like I was on the Isle of Man TT right back there, but, you know, going about half the speed of the Isle of Man TT. Like, those drivers are absolutely crazy for actually doing that. The fact that they're not too scared to do that actually genuinely makes me respect them so much. I have far more respect for the Isle of Man TT drivers than pretty much any other motorsport driver, because you're not in a car with airbags. No. You're on a motorcycle going through this tiny town at like 140 miles per hour. Or something like that. Yeah, you're going super fast. It's like this, but faster. And this thing kind of feels like that. It's a much, well, kind of slightly safer version, because you have 4 wheels and you can't really tip over unless you take a turn way too hard. But yeah, this thing, yeah, is probably not good at off-roading. That's something I'm going to take a guess at, and yeah, I'm trying my best to stay on the road, because I do not want to lose speed. Oh, a hotel! I wonder if they're open. It totally doesn't look like they're abandoned, and I wonder if they're going to be taking reservations. And, you know, I wonder if there's, like, any signs that are, like, construction workers only. Oh, and if you see right there, we have teddy bear wheels, because the new automation update, yeah, they gave us new wheel designs, and that's incredible. Teddy bear wheels are probably one of my favorites, because they're so dumb, yet awesome at the same time. I really wish that we got the $ wheel design, because that would be awesome. And, well, this is our off-roading for this vehicle. Yeah, just climbing up ramps for this thing is basically the equivalent of off-roading in any other vehicle, because this thing has, like, very little torque, and I am trying my best not to redline the engine right now. I'm trying my genuine best not to do it, but it is so hard not to just floor this thing accidentally, and well, it's actually quite nice up here. It's pretty spacious, you can fit quite a lot of cars up here, and since this thing is like 190 something kilograms, it's not too heavy. And now, before we get to the Nürburgring, I'm gonna take you down the drag strip. So, on the drag strip, my goal is to get a sub 20-second drag time, and I don't know what this thing is gonna go, and let's go! Okay, so we're actually doing quite good. We're in the first 5 seconds, and this thing's already at almost 60. this thing is actually pretty darn quick. I'm fairly certain it's going to get a sub 20 second. Yeah, it definitely is. And let's see. Oh, okay. That was actually surprisingly good. That is actually better than the Unamuso. And now, we're at the Nürburgring right now. And let's go! Okay. In our first few seconds, we're doing quite good. We're accelerating rather fast. This first turn always gets me. It always gets me, and I don't like that. I don't like the fact that I always slide in that turn, regardless of what car I've driven on this track in. And so far, I've done the Nürburgring in a few different cars, particularly 3 different cars. The Racer Mobile, the Turbine Thrasher Wagon, and the V10 race car that I made a while back. This thing is technically the second V6 I've taken on the Nürburgring. That Racer Mobile is also a V6, but this thing is hopefully faster because that vehicle got like 12 minutes, and yeah. That thing was also so slow that it literally would not even show up anywhere on the Wikipedia list for Nürburgring lap times because it was just that slow. So far, only 2 of my cars that would actually show up. The Turbine Thrasher Wagon is most comparable to the Audi RS4 Avant, and the T10 race car is most comparable to the original Acura NSX. Now, one of the things I want to show you is what a flyby for this thing looks like, and let's see. Okay, there was some audio glitching right there, which wasn't the best, but in all honesty, that should give you an idea of just how fast this vehicle is. From a third-person view, it might not be super fast, but right now, when I'm driving it, it feels actually really fast. It feels like I'm piloting a fighter jet or a Porsche 99 Evo. No, not a 99 Evo, that doesn't exist. What I meant to say was a 919 Evo hybrid. Yeah, that thing, the current record holder, and yeah, there is absolutely no way I am going to beat that thing. We got another lag spike. And, well, this car is quite nice, and right here is actually quite special. You know why? Because this is actually my favorite turn, and my favorite straightaway in the entirety of the Nürburgring. Because, well, it's downhill, so you gain speed. It's also mildly curved because it's not super challenging, and it also adds a little bit of it as well, instead of making it boring like just a regular straightaway. And yeah, if I do another one of those flybys, let's see. I didn't notice any lag spikes there or any sound problems because, well, I didn't listen to it beforehand. And, well, oh no, that's not good. We cannot be spinning out, but hey, let's at least be lucky that this thing is a CVT and accelerates quickly, because if it had any other transmission, it would actually take like 11 seconds to reach 60 miles per hour, and that is actually kind of sad. And, well, we passed the 3-minute mark. That means that there is only about 2 or so minutes before the 919 Evo Hybrid beats us, and do you really think that this little rinky-dinky thing is going to beat this? Do you really think it is? Because you are delusional if you do think that this is going to beat that. Absolutely delusional. And yeah, but I can dream. I can dream about this thing being better because it is better. You see, that vehicle is not even street legal. This thing is. And, well, the thing about this thing, it is also super loud and has a supercharger. That thing is a turbocharger. In my opinion, turbochargers have become too mainstream and, oh, darn it. Oh, no, oh, no. You have to actually be joking. We flipped over. Really? This is so embarrassing. We can't have a flip over. The only vehicle that's allowed to flip over on the Nürburgring is like the Reliant Robin or the Peel P50 or one of those 3-wheeled vehicles. Seriously, this thing doesn't even have 3 wheels. It's super lightweight, the engine is super low to the ground, and oh no, oh no. Okay, we just hit a wall, that is not good, that damaged our steering, so we had to reset the car. Yay! We had to reset the car, and this right here is probably my second favorite stretch of the Nürburgring because we're going downhill, so we're obviously going to gain speed, but we also cross a bridge, and then we go back up a hill, and it's relatively tight turns for my vehicles. For a purpose-built race car made by someone better at automation than me and more skilled, for someone like them, it probably would not be that difficult, but for me, it kind of is, and it's a little bit of challenge while also giving good scenery, and, well, we only have about 20 seconds before the 919 beats us, and, yeah, we are not even close to being done. So far, we've gone about 5 miles, which is actually quite nice. We're going at a pace of about 1 mile per minute, and I believe this track is about 21 kilometers. I don't know what that is in miles, but hopefully that is less than 11, because at that pace, we would not be doing too good. And, well, we just lost to the 919 Evo Hybrid. But hey, at the very least, our car looks better. It's painted in yellow. That car is painted in boring white. And with that, let's engage the goofy time lapse. Let's engage it. It's silly. We're gonna go really fast while making cartoonishly high-pitched engine sounds, all of which is probably coming from the Supercharger, because seriously, this thing is mostly Supercharger, and we have officially lost to the Dodge Viper ACR. To my knowledge, the fastest manual around the Nürburgring, like at one point it was. I don't know if it is anymore, but yeah. We have gone about 7.7 miles, so we're doing better than my aforementioned pace in the very beginning of 1 mile per minute. That is good, because if this track happens to be like 15 miles long, that means it'll be 15 minutes, and I am not going to lose to the absolute abomination that is the Racer Mobile. I am not, absolutely not going to lose that. And, well, we're about to lose to the Turbine Thrasher wagon, because at about this point in time, they would have reached, like, the finish line pretty much. Just slightly under 8 minutes is what they got. I believe it was right about here, yeah. 8 minutes and, like, 59 seconds. No, not 8 minutes. It was 7 minutes and 59 seconds, and, well, this thing does handle probably better than the Turbine Thrasher wagon. It is so painfully slow, and its speed limit is so obviously under 100 miles per hour. And that's the thing about this that makes it hard and not fun to drive. Don't get me wrong, it is fun to drive. It's just not as fun as the Turbine Thrasher wagon or even the T10 race car, which somehow is not actually that good at handling. And speaking of the race car, this is about its time that it got, right here. And, well, it's about time that we go down the straightaway with a bunch of graffiti on it. Like, I think it's really cool that there's writing on there, but I'm going 80 miles per hour. I can't read it. And now, another time lapse. And for the next time lapse I do, I'm going to engage some beatboxing, because why not? And let's see. Let's take this corner. Can we drift? And, no, we can't. That's a problem with this thing that I really do not like. I don't like the fact that I can't drift this thing without it, like, spinning out, because that is sad. This thing is the perfect drift mobile. It's based off Mario Kart. That game is full of drifting. And as you see on the timer above, we're about to fail the 10-minute mark. That means we have 2 minutes before we lose to the Racer Mobile, and I am not letting that happen. I will never, ever let that happen. I will literally do an engine swap real quick before letting that happen. And now, we're gonna do our beatboxing once we pass under this thing, and... Deja vu. Yeah, that was like one of the initial D songs, poorly beatboxed by me, and I hope you really enjoyed it. And looks like we're not gonna get a 12-minute. Looks like we're gonna get a sub 12-minute, which for 28 horsepower is phenomenal. Let's see, can we get sub 1150? Yes, yes, we did it, sub 1150, and we totaled our car. Well, some agencies would total this thing out from that little dent. but I've seen cars far worse that are still driving on the road. And, well, it's about time to drive this thing into the wall. And when we do that, I am going to compare this thing to the closest real-life example that this thing has. Anyway, let's go! Now, on Wikipedia, I'm on the page for the cars, and this right here, this thing, the Mercedes-Benz W154, which from 1938 has double the cylinders, double the superchargers, significantly more power, and is also significantly faster, yet was only about 1 minute and 20 seconds faster. Anyway, let's go down the dam. Let's go down the water slide, as I like to call it, because this is arguably one of my favorite ways to dispose of vehicles at the end of videos, and let's go. Whee! This is actually going to be quite fun. Let's go and whee! This is awesome. Anyway, that's all.